Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Sporting160EN. This is Christian, and I'm joined with my friend Danny. What number is this, Danny?
Ooh, 57,
57?
I think? I think so.
I think it's
Pretty sure.
57 also. Yeah, podcast number 57. Yeah, so Danny, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Just got frazzled at school currently. So my brain's a little fried, but it helps the Spartan one today. So we only have to really talk about one negative result in this podcast. But, I'm doing good, man.
Good to hear, good to hear. Yeah, and so we can just go ahead and get right into that first one, get that out of the way. The loss at Tondela on
Uh,
Sunday. 1-0. So the lineup for Sporting was as follows: Renan Ribeiro in goal, Rostovsky, Coates, Ilori, Acuna on the back line, Miguel Luis, Dumbia, Bruno Fernandes, and Vieta Luis Felipe Balassi. Danny, what did you think of this game, this stinker?
so, yeah, bro, it was exactly that. It was a stinker. Where I thought we did decent at times against Stas Freire the week before, we had none of that really against Tondela. I was looking for a bit more of an improvement, obviously, seeing as we didn't even play that great against Pasus. But it was total opposite from the get go. We didn't play that well. I haven't watched the highlights, so I can't even remember a chance that we even had on their goal. Tondela controlled a lot of the play from what I remember. They were the ones being more lethal in attack, in my opinion as well. Let me try to pull up some stats real quick, because it was just overall it was just bad, man. And their goal it was deserving. I think we deserved the penalty in the first half. That was unjust, in my opinion. But aside from that, like we didn't really deserve anything from the game. Yeah, really, that's my two thoughts on or my 2 cents on the Tonella game. They were deserved winners. And it's scary to think that we struggled so much against Pasus. We struggled so much against Tondela, who's being decent. I think they were a 10th at the time. I'm only scared of what happens when we face even better competition. I'm even more scared to what happens when we face our rivals. I know Porto's looking bad right now, but um, you put that right beside Sporting, and we're still looking worse than them, especially in the league. So yeah, that Tondela game was horrible. Um, with 35 possession from Tondela, they still had a few more shots on goal from us, or at least they were more clinical. At least it was bad, man. It was bad. What are your thoughts, dude?
Yeah, I feel a lot of the same way as you do. It was just flat. Most of I would say the best chance that we created wasn't from open play. It was probably the Bruno Fernandes free kick. We just didn't really seem that threatening at times. The past two games, Vieto's been, invisible out there. He doesn't even seem like he's getting on the ball at all. He's not doing anything. He's just out there. Balassi was having a very Balassi game in this one. He was a little bit better today. This one was just one of those games where he just seems like he can't even dribble. He's tripping over himself. He's completely out of control when he's running at all times. And yeah, he really couldn't get anything going either. Luis Felipe, not a good game from him. So that was the offensive triangle of very little production. Bruno Fernandes was doing most of that. I was thinking about this today, actually. Our midfield is just not good enough. It's not good enough to be at the level, in terms of our squad and the results that we want to be getting. Miguel Luis, Dumbia, Eduardo, none of them are good enough, to be consistently playing the way that they do. And I think that as long as that exists and very little or at least inconsistent is the best you could say offensive firepower, you're just not going to get as many results as you want to, just simply by those limitations.
Yeah, man, and not to go back too much to today, not yet at least, but You see, we have a good enough coach, at least at the time for the time being, that the team offers some structure. We have some like organization in place now. Whereas I thought earlier in the season we were a disaster really defensively. But it goes to show more and more that the quality is just not there. I like Doumbia. I liked more of what I've seen from him last season. But this season, especially defensively, he hasn't been good enough at all. I mean, again, we'll get more into today's game later, but at least today he seemed a lot more better on the ball. But off the ball is what really scares me. Not only for Doumbia too, because that's the whole team. Off the ball, we look really, really bad. We don't know what we're doing. It doesn't look like we're playing with any confidence. Velocity, bro, you hit it right on the head, man. Like, sort of to compare it to what Man U fans were saying about Lukaku last season, that he was playing in Timberlands. Sometimes I look at Velocity and I feel like he's playing in Timberlands because, like, his touches will either get away from him and he'll just sort of like try to shield himself off from the defender to keep the ball in play. At times he also just looks like a fucking bulldozer just trying to like run through and manhandle players, which I mean isn't bad, but
he's a more physical Seydou Doumbia.
Yeah, exactly.
The Seydou Doumbia that we have.
100% that. Yeah. And I mean, okay, he hasn't had as many chances as Doumbia yet, but it looks like he has his goal scoring record too, you know?
Yeah. The one goal that he scored, like, really wasn't even his goal.
Yeah, exactly.
What else about this game? We saw Kamashu make a cameo in this game briefly, as he did today as well. Anything stand out to you in terms of that?
I mean, he came on and we suffered, not too, like maybe 10 minutes later, but he didn't play. He didn't play bad. He didn't get on the ball a lot. But I think that's more also on the team itself. The team didn't really look for him. Same as today, by the way. But the team didn't really look for him. Let me try to. Who else came on too? I mean, Hesse also didn't really do much when he came on. We sort of changed.
He did have one moment that was all right. Hesse did.
I mean, it seems like he'll have like one moment a game, which
I mean, one he'll beat his defender like kind of a cool way that you can maybe clip it and put on Twitter once a game. But he's also going to turn it over doing the same exact thing
a million
six times for every time he successfully does it.
100%. And I mean, that's the most frustrating thing. It wouldn't suck if he was like an academy kid, you know, on cheap wages and like he's sort of learning his footing sort of thing. It just sucks that, you know, we're paying $2 million on him for a loan when we had Matheus Pereira, you know, who's carrying it up for West Brom. We had, and I mean, I still think we have. I don't think he's going to get bought out because I haven't heard much of him. But we had Gelson Dalla, who, okay, maybe he's not playing now, but at least the last season and the season before that, we're showing like stints that he can do a lot better than what Hesse is doing right now. And I mean, like back to Kamashu, like he didn't do much, which is a little scary, seeing as we paid $5 million for him. He came from Liverpool. He was playing in England for a while. It doesn't show because he's really struggling in England. I want him to beat his man more, but again, he doesn't get a lot of the ball for me to really see if he can or can't beat a man on a wing or not. And maybe him playing our right back sort of affected that too. But he's not the dynamic winger I thought he might have been when we first signed him.
Yeah, you know, what I was truthfully thinking also was, what if, because I know he said at the beginning of the season that he didn't want to play right back anymore, and that he's like a winger as an offensive player. Dude, Ristovski and Rozier have not convinced me enough that I don't think it's at least worth taking a shot and seeing what he can do there. Because honestly, like, what would you rather do? Be primarily a winger and sit on the bench, or a right back and play more regularly? So,
fair.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's worth a shot. I thought Ristovski has been very poor recently in the 2 games that he had. And Rozier was all right today, but you know, just overall, just not a lot to show for, you know, the minutes that he's played.
I wouldn't mind seeing Kamashu as a wing back, especially if we're gonna if we're gonna continue playing 3
3
at the back. Yeah, because again, I don't know. I don't want to read too much into Mathieu missing 2 games back to back, but especially seeing his age, it might be that he's a little injured or he's tired or knackered, whatever it is.
Is this the first time this happened this season? Because he always does this. He
No,
he won't play the
been
whole
doing
season. Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I don't know if it might be the first time, but I could be wrong about that. I know he missed at least a game or 2 already. But
Yeah.
I say that to say, like, seeing as Matthew's not playing, we won't play 4 at the back. So if we do continue to play 3 at the back, I'm not you know I'm a fan of, I guess, you know, I'm not against it at least. I wouldn't mind seeing Camacho as a right wing back, because like you said, Rosier, he's not been bad, but he hasn't really impressed. He hasn't really brought us what maybe we were expecting. So why not try Camacho there? Maybe he can offer something different offensively, because Rosier sometimes lets the ball get by him, or his first touch will let him down a lot of times on that wing. So I guess it wouldn't hurt to try Camacho at right wing back. I'm a little scared at right back because all 3 with those, Ristovski and Rosier and I guess Camacho as well, these 3 guys, like, they don't provide the defensive stability that maybe like a Pacini would offer us. And I think that's what's really lacking on this defense, is we don't have wing backs that'll really defend. I mean, Acuna does his best. Acuna is probably our better defensive wing back or full back, but even still, he's sort of a natural winger, right? So his main intentions usually is to bomb forward. So like I think we need at least one defensive sort of fullback, and it's usually, you know, as the last few years we've been, you know, spoiled to a right back sort of coming in and filling that cog in the defense. So maybe that's my beef with them, but I don't know. They don't offer enough going forward for me to really be okay with them not doing their due diligence defensively, at least. So Camacho at right back, I don't know how much of an improvement that'll be, but I'm with you. If it gives the kid minutes, because the kid, I mean, he needs some minutes. At least play. If he's not playing in the under 23s, you know, give him a run out. It's just so shit that we're out of the Taça already, and probably out of the Taça de Liga, that we can't even really play these youngsters. So Silius is definitely in a tough one with Camacho.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Acuna is probably the best at doing that. I don't know if Acuna is really actually that good defensively. I just think that he's so aggressive that it just ends up working.
Yeah, and I mean he's the better of the 4 or 5, like the fullbacks that we have. He's the best one we have. Because Borja, he's decent defensively, but I don't know if he's better than Acuna.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And then I guess just to wrap this up, where we stand.
I'll do this. What did you think of Ilari against Tondela?
Oh,
he is a scapegoat, but
he wasn't good.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like catastrophic.
Yeah.
He just makes me feel uneasy. Like, it always seems like the ball happened today a couple times. Even the ball's like bouncing around in the box, and he just like can never just get it away the first time. Like, he'll weirdly like whiff at it, or he'll hit his foot and then like go back into the middle. It's just like he just like is sketchy, man.
Agreed.
He's just sketchy. So if you can avoid him being like catastrophic, you know, you just take it as a W, you know.
Agreed, bro.
I don't even know if he was the worst one out there.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
I don't think he was the worst one out there.
No, I agree. I'm just more shocked that he just didn't go with Neto.
Yeah, that was weird. I think that Neto, like, what's wrong with playing a back four with Coates and Neto?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it seems fine. If you're going to do it with Ilori, like, Jesus.
I mean, yeah, Neto's definitely way better defensively.
I think the point of doing the back three with Ilori is so that, you know, there's at least two other center backs for cover for him.
Exactly.
So the logic of just him, but not Neto when you're playing four, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Agreed.
But whatever. At least he played today.
Yeah. At least, and to be fair, at least today with the back three, we looked a lot better Defensively, we looked a lot better handling pressure, because that's the biggest thing that Sporting's been struggling with, even with Marcel Kaiser last season, was we can't even take a little bit of pressure. Though, against this Tondela game, it might have been hopefully it's an outlier, because we didn't play out of the back very well at all. Like, we gave away the ball many times. Mind you, we played a lot in their midfield, but whenever they would pressure us, like, it looked disastrous, to say the least. So at least with a back three going off today, it looked a bit better. So hopefully that'll hopefully maintain if Mathieu's not going to play. Yeah.
Agree. Anything else on this game?
No, not really. Not that I can remember, dude.
All right, and then I guess just as a wrap up, that leaves us 10 points off the top with 10 games played. I guess by all the ground that we made up on Thursday, just like was counteracted.
Which is hilarious, because just before the game, or the press conference before the game, Seniors was talking about how if we win every game, we can still be champion. And the moment we got on top, like the next game, we lose. So
it technically is still true, because playing Benfica and Porto twice is 12 points. So we're 10 points off the the top, right? So it's still possible, but that's not gonna happen. Do you think we finish third? We're 6 points off Famalicão.
I want to say yes, only because, I mean, we're all expecting Famalicão to have a drop-off sooner or later. Though, I mean, one of their young defenders just got called up to the Argentinian national team. So, I mean, there's clearly, like, quality into the team. So,
I don't think a drop-off is going to happen that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're still going to be good in every game that they play.
Yeah, exactly. And they've been bullying the little teams for the most part, too. Usually, teams will start, especially after this international break, teams will start faltering to the smaller teams. I know they lost to Porto, but it's Porto. After that, they've recovered well. I think they beat Gil Vicente.
And tied Braga.
And they tied Braga, exactly, yeah, 2-2. And they were down 2-1, right? So
yeah.
They're showing a little bit of fight about them, George Men's FC. So I don't know, dude.
Who knows? Maybe they'll get some George Men's FC reinforcements in January and be even deeper.
Yes. Yeah.
A couple guys from Wolves, maybe a guy from Monaco or something to tighten it up.
City, probably Nottingham Forest or something for sure, man. Like, the guy has connections, so. But yeah, I still want to remain keep the faith that we'll finish third, because more than anything, I'm scared of what happens to Silas if we finish fourth or fifth.
Yeah.
Fifth
is bad.
Yeah,
we're 1 point up on fifth.
And who's in fifth? Guimarães?
Guimarães with 16. We have 17.
There you go. Yeah.
And
we just beat them.
Yeah. Exactly.
To drop points, it doesn't even give us some breathing room from Guimarães, who again tied against Arsenal. So
yeah.
They've been having a pretty good season. They've been unfortunate in Europe a few times. So at least they got the draw against Arsenal. So credit to them. But they look good, dude. So it wouldn't surprise me if even we finish behind them. But again, I'm remaining optimistic as much as I can. But with this team, fifth to me is a very good possibility that we finish there.
And then at that point, if we finish fifth, we're hoping that Porto or Benfica win or are playing each other in the final of the Taça de Portugal, so that fifth could be a European spot,
Oh, right.
as opposed to, if Guimarães or Boavista or Tondela or someone like that wins, I guess not Tondela, but Rio Ave or Braga wins the Taça de Portugal, they'll get the Euro spot, and so will 3 and 4, and fifth will not, so kind of embarrassing to be in that position. We will be playing Europa League qualifiers next season, guaranteed, if we're in the competition. We'll have to play our way into it.
Because even if we pass Russia this year, it doesn't help out anything as of next year, right? It only happens in like 2 years.
No, it's not for this season. It'd be for that next season. So it'd be for 20 and 21 as opposed to 19 and 20, which we're in.
Right. Fair. Yeah. So, yeah, dude. But at least we're flying the flag high for Portugal in European competition. Oddly enough.
Braga is too.
Braga is too. Fair enough. Yeah.
Who's had a bad campaign in Portugal, so it's really weird that. But yeah, another fat L for Porto today in Glasgow. Yikes.
Yeah. Yikes indeed. 2-0 to a Rangers team that isn't anything special. Yikes.
All right, so do you want to move on to our European game today?
Sure, sounds good.
All right, so today's game was against Rosenborg in Norway. Our lineup was 3-5-2 with Renan Ribeiro in net. Neto Kawatsi Lodi is back three. Rosier, Doumbia, Eduardo, Borja, Bruno Fernandes. Borja and Rosier as their wingbacks. And then Balassi and Vieto up top. What were your initial thoughts as you watched this one?
Yeah, so right away I noticed we were a lot better on the ball, passed the ball well, especially to the back. We were able to handle their pressure, like from the back especially, to move it forward. It all comes back to the lack of quality into the team, because there was a few plays. One in particular that I remember was Bruno Fernandes sort of passing onto the wing to Rosier, and Rosier just getting it, not keeping up to it, or not getting a good first touch to it. Where if he got that, he has a clear flank to run at and maybe whip in the ball to Vieto or to Balassi.
I remember that actually.
Yeah, so
he should have got there.
He could have. He definitely could have got there. So again, I go back to say maybe with a bit more quality, this team looks even better. But I have to say, it's already evident to the difference Silas is making, at least in terms of organization, at least in terms of ball movement, at least in this team. Silas he's the type of manager that likes for us to keep the ball. And you can tell we're a lot more comfortable on the ball than off the ball. So off the ball, we're still disastrous. We're still not good defensively. There was a chance, it might have been in the second half, where Kawach, instead of really keeping up with the guy, he kept up he tried to maybe cut the ball off, but a striker just sort of ran through with the ball and was sort of through on goal to have a shot at Renan, and I think it went over. It could have tested the keeper, I just can't remember now. But again, yeah, not good enough. But aside from that, it's definitely more positive. I might actually be getting pulled over. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Yeah, it was definitely more positive. You can definitely see the difference Silas is making. But yeah, a lot more needs to be done. A lot more work needs to be, done. And I'm willing to give Silas time, and I'm willing to even give this season a throwaway season. So long as we see improvements, especially so long as we see some efforts made in January. If not, then Varandas can fucking please fuck off, because the destruction of this club from even to last season it's so evident and so bad that I don't understand how a guy keeps his job this way. I don't. But anyways, not to go back to the off the field things, but
let me make you a hypothetical proposition here. Do you rather see him not make any investments and then fuck off, or make a lot of investments using his style, which we know is a style that has given us the season that we're having? So I guess if you like that, then I wouldn't worry about it. But it's like almost like, do we even want him to splurge in January? So it's like, dude, is he just gonna throw away 20 million or something? Like, is he gonna sell even? So he's like plus 20 from the summer window. If he sells like Acuna or Kawats, like theoretically he's thinking like he's up like plus 30 to 40. Then it's like, what is he gonna do? Just drop 20 mil on like some more Jesse Rodriguez's, couple more Balassis? I don't know what he plans to do, but it's the squad. It does need reinforcements. It's just a a matter of how those are going to get done, or maybe they just won't address them and they'll just keep sucking. Very real possibility. Also, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No. No, I 100% agree with you. And like the thing is though too, the thing that worries about me with Fernandes too is, especially because how we've seen in the summer that because he couldn't negotiate our biggest, because like we look at our rivals Benfica and Porto, they don't sell an entire team to keep a player. They sell a player to keep an entire team. And what we did was we couldn't sell Bruno Fernandes. I don't know how you only get 40 million for the season that he had last season, plus a decent national league. What are those? The national
Nations League.
Nations League. There you go. He had a decent campaign. So how we only get 40 million for him, I don't understand. And then for him to sell our whole right flank. So like this is my sort of like where I try to empathize with Fernandes to a sense is that we're bad because he sold our entire right flank. So maybe the players he brought in are good enough or are really good. They just need some time to bleed in because they've only really been here for a month. But then again, it's like, why the fuck was that decision even made? So, you know, I can't even sympathize him with that, man. Like, again, to me, I hope he just purchases maybe a player or two that we'll need, a number six especially, and maybe even a center back, because I think we might need another striker, but at least for January sakes, I think we just write in Pedro Mendes. We can maybe play this 3-5-2 and have like Vieto, Bolasie, even Hesse sort of float or flirt with the winger striker sort of position. So as long as we can, going back to what I was saying, as long as we can maybe buy a center back or a number 6 on the cheap, or maybe even bring back at least Bragança and buy a center back, I'll give him until like the end of the season to hopefully like, you know, make his decision or sort of have the sausage to decide whether they want him here or they want him to really fuck off. But with that being said, like it then depends like the player that he gets, because I thought last summer or last winter we did all right. I thought Doumbia looked decent. I thought who else did we bring in from last season? Luis Felipe, he did very well. So I thought, you know, at least player recruitment he would have been decent at. But this window, or at least this summer window, was just disastrous. So it's hard to tell with Fernandes right now. But yeah, going back to the game, at least we looked better. But it has to be said, Rosenberg looked garbage. I think they finished like 16th in the Portuguese league. I don't know about you, dude.
I got some stats for you. This was their 14th straight game in Europe, not including preliminary rounds here. So we're just talking group stages of European participations. A couple times it's been Champions League, a couple times it's been Europa League. 14 straight games without a win.
Jesus.
So they had 13 going into this game. Sporting extended that streak to 14. So I mean, to be honest, like I feel kind of bad for them, but they are. This is one of the worst teams that Sporting has played in Europe that I've ever seen.
Agreed.
And we beat them both times, unconvincingly-ish both times. But I mean, we beat them twice in like 2 weeks. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. It says a lot about Rosenberg, honestly.
Definitely, yeah. They're not that great at all.
We might need them to do us a favor, though. Maybe if they're feeling up to it in the last 2 match weeks, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one.
Yeah, same here, dude. I think it's another that streak's being extended to 16 losses straight, or 16 without a win.
Yeah, I think it is.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, man. And last one today, which I mean I didn't want personally, because Lask looked tough against us. We got away with one for playing a good 5 minutes and then holding on to our luck against them at home. So I can only imagine how it's going to be in Austria, especially seeing that PSV got slapped today, and they slapped us around in the first game. So, I mean, there's still a good possibility we're not making it out of the group. I know everybody's all gassed that we're in first right now, but it's only by 2 points, and we're facing PSV and Lask in these next 2 games, and we might be fucked. I don't want to be negative Nelly here, but we might be fucked.
Yeah, I agree. It is. It is not, a situation that's super easy. They're both playing each other, or they're each playing us and Rosenborg. So basically, if they take care of business against Rosenborg, we really only have to lose one of those two games, and we could still not make it through. Actually,
Yeah.
no, that's not true. We'd have
If
to
we,
drop points in both of them.
yeah. But even if we win one, oh yeah, yeah. As long as we win one game, we'll be fine. But that's what I'm saying. Like at the moment, even though we're winning,
It's
we
it's
won today. It doesn't look good for us, at least, because these two teams they look decent. I didn't see today's highlights, to be fair, but they look decent from when we played them.
Yeah, they went down against PSV today in the fifth minute, and then they came back in the second half. I mean, I think they scored one in the first half, and then they had 30 shots
Jesus.
total and like 13 on target or something. Yeah, it's truthfully better that we're playing PSV at home before the last game, which is away in Austria, because I feel like if we're in a position where it's like if we have to go to Austria and get a result in that game to advance. That's really a situation you probably are going to want to avoid.
Yeah, agreed. Though the Dutch have been all right playing away. Like, yeah, in general, not PSV specifically, but like I think of teams like Ajax. I think of Feyenoord. They've been getting like decent results over the last few years away from home. PSV as well in like the Champions League, I can think of. So even with that, and we don't play that well at home either. So it's not like it makes too much of a difference.
It's
So
not exactly an inferno that they'll be walking into.
exactly, and the scariest thing too then. Since seeing the current situation of the club is if we do end up going down to PSV at home, and we do need to get a result from that game, that atmosphere will turn cancerous quickly. And I mean, you can see from the players' attitude. Sometimes when the fans are really at their back, like they cower away, or they'll play within themselves, or they'll feel more anxious and stuff like that. So, our current situation at the club too doesn't help us at all. If we don't beat Lask, or at least get some sort of result away, even a draw isn't that good, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, it all depends on our next European game in Austria.
Yeah, I agree. Was there anyone that stood out to you today in a either positive or negative way?
I like Viet. I think Vieto's sort of become maybe our third best player. He's becoming more and more consistent. I think he's wasted out in the center. He's definitely more of a winger in my opinion, but I do like Vieto. I like at least his consistency. Bruno Fernandes was definitely our best player. I thought Bruno Fernandes did a bit too much, especially early on in the game before his goal. But I was glad to see him take that chance because he sort of blew one earlier, just before he scored the 2-0. He sort of blew a chance earlier in the box, but it was good to see him take that chance. So he's definitely the man of the match in my opinion. He was easily our best player, but not a lot stood out. Interestingly enough, I didn't like the timing of the substitutions. I understand with Rodrigo Fernandes of giving him a few more minutes and sort of slowly bleeding him into senior team football. But in terms of Pedro Mendes coming on with like 5 minutes left, Camacho also came on, I think, in the 80. Did he come in the 83rd, or was that Rodrigo? That might have been Rodrigo, but Camacho didn't. He came on pretty late too. So, yeah, I don't like the timing of the substitutions, especially for Pedro Mendes and Camacho. And you sort of see like an effect of it towards the end of the game. Pedro Mendes could have centered it to Camacho, and Camacho had a better chance
Yeah,
on
he's
goal.
just like, fuck it, I'm shooting, dude.
Yeah,
I never get to play. I scored last time. I'm just gonna fucking shoot it, see what happens.
Exactly. And I don't blame him on that, because it's like, I'm trying to snatch my chances now. Like, I'm surprised he didn't even start today, seeing as we had Bolasie and Vieto up top, who to me are both wingers. They're not really strikers. So yeah, like I don't blame him for trying to do that, but he has to be more aware of like, okay, this is a team sport. Camacho's over there. Maybe I can get the pass off. But again, like I said, I don't. he came on for 5 minutes. I don't blame him for trying to go for glory, especially seeing as we're 2-0 up. If we were losing, okay, like that's something to beef about. But the timing of the substitutions I think really stood out to me. I didn't really, as much as I've been praising Sidious, I really hope he sort of improves that and sort of gives these young guys more minutes, even though they're young. They definitely have quality about them. And yeah. What about you, dude? Anything stood out to you, dude?
The only thing that stood out to me is how much I'm starting to hate Eduardo. He just sucks, man. And I thought today he was especially bad. He's just really totally like average and unimpressive to me. And I know that he's playing more than because Sidious knows him and he played for him before, but I don't care. Like he's not good. Why would like I'd rather see Rodrigo Fernandez play. You know, he's probably better than him. Like, you know,
I agree. I mean, and I hope we bring back Wendell soon. I know he was under disciplinary action. Fair enough. But he's way better. As much as we may moan about Wendell, he's way better than Eduardo. He has way more going for him, especially going forward. Wendell is like levels ahead of Eduardo. Eduardo, he was a waste of money, man. But anyways, maybe he'll finally come good, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I also doubt it. I think he already had his best game, that one game that he scored, I think. Did he score? No. He almost scored.
He might have hit the bar, yeah.
I think it was like we won like 1-0 on a late PK. It was like a couple games ago. Obs maybe?
Yeah.
I
think so, yeah.
That's the best game he's ever going to have. So if you watched that game and thought that performance was the greatest thing ever, then it was totally fine, and I feel like that's like as good as it's going to get. So, yeah, I'm pretty much all set on him. Doumbia was a bit better today, had an assist. And actually, I think that Neto to Kawat's goal was the first goal Sporting scored this season that he wasn't directly involved in, perhaps?
Bruno Fernandes?
Yeah.
I believe so. I think
he has
retweeted it.
He has
15 and 16 or something like that. He was involved in 15 to 16 of Sporting's 16 goals.
Yeah. 9 goals, 6 assists, and 15 goals, and then 16. So the other one was today. What a ball from Neto to
Great
Kawat.
Ball.
And
great ball.
I mean, they just didn't bother marking frequently, and I mean, they didn't mark Neto or Kawat on that.
No.
And I mean, they're just. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I mean, they're just not good. Even like with being. I don't know if you noticed this. At first, all the Sporting players were slipping and falling because they weren't used to playing on the frozen tundra. But the Rosenborg players are more used to playing on the tundra. So even with that advantage, they still couldn't get the job done.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, it was coming because even we had a corner just before that, and I think on corners we're really bad because we all just rush the area. Like every player will rush that, like the area where the ball's coming through, and nobody's really paying attention to sort of like if it gets cleared or whatever. We'll always get caught on a counter. So we won the corner right after, and then to see like Neto sort of stay back a bit, win that ball, and then cross it back in. It was good to see, especially because I was complaining on the first corner that that happened just before the goal. And it's also good to see that Quats knows where to score, you know, and it's no longer in his fucking own net, and he's finally scoring goals on the other side. So that's also a big positive.
He is the third leading scorer on the team, I think, with 3 goals.
Wow. Imagine if we counted the own goals, too.
And if you counted the own goals, he'd be giving Bruno Fernandes a run for his money.
For real. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on the game, though? I don't know if you really said anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was much more convincing in the first half than it was in the second half. And in the second half, it got a little sweaty at times, you know. Because, they hit the post, they had more chances, they had much more of the ball in the second half. And if they could have scored one of those chances, then it would have been like, okay, they have all the momentum. Now they got the ball back, they're running it back, and there's like 15 minutes left. Like, we're gonna have to fucking sweat this one out. Eduardo was already on the field, so he wouldn't have been able to. The guys that he subs on in those situations are always Borja and Eduardo, and they were both already on, so he couldn't do his trusty shitty substitutions. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that it worked out. I mean, in the end, we're the better team. Definitely, individually and team wise, they had a couple guys that were all right and mixed in there. But I mean, nothing that was really going to cause us any problems.
I wonder what would have happened if Bentner stayed on the team. I wonder if they would have maybe even tested and then more. Because like you said, they did come near scoring. They hit the post. It also came from lazy defending. We didn't want to fucking clear the ball for whatever reason. But yeah, they did test us once or twice this game. So I can only imagine if Nicholas Bentner, the GOAT that he is, if he would have maybe even made this game even more interesting, maybe nick a goal for them or not. Because he definitely loves scoring against Portugal, so maybe even that'll carry over to scoring against the Portuguese team. I guess we'll never know, and I'm glad we'll never know, but just a food for thought, I guess.
Yeah, we will probably not play another Norwegian team. Could be for a while. Who knows? Maybe in like the second qualifying round of Europa League next season, we'll play in Norway again or something. But it's definitely
Molde always kind of makes it to Europa League too, so maybe next year. But yeah, that's a very low possibility.
They are likely going to be out of Europe completely next season, as Rosenborg are currently 4th in the Norwegian League. Top 3 have a chance in Europe. So they will look likely to not be able to extend their streak in the group stage because they will not be there.
For better, for
unlucky
worse.
Boys, unlucky boys. All right.
Yeah.
And so I guess we have 2 weeks then until the game against PSV at the Alvalade at the end of November. So we will have to wait until then. The suspense.
Yeah, man. It's let me try to put this back on my ears right now. It's more scary, man. I don't have a lot of aspirations, especially seeing how we're playing right now. I don't know about you.
This is kind of a thing that has given me hope, going on a European run. But yeah, I mean, I really want to see us go through. I mean, I thought last season we deserved to go through in that group. We smacked around those other 2 teams, and it was Arsenal and us, and it wasn't even close between second and third. Yeah. And then we caught Villarreal, who wasn't even good last season, and it felt like a good draw. It felt like a good draw, and we just played terrible in 3 out of the 4 halves of that series, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like you said, Europe is really the only thing we're kind of playing for right now. We're out of the league. We're out of the Taça. Most likely we're out of Taça de Liga, as I think Rio will go through. We're only really playing for Europe or a European European place in third. So if we fall away at Europe, I mean, it might be a blessing in disguise as we might be able to push on for third, but it'll just end up being a super boring season this year. And we'll be playing like 1 game a week at best sometimes, So, yeah. But I mean, again, we're in first right now, so I'm not trying to bring negative vibes or anything. But seeing as we still have to play LASK and PSV, I'm not too confident. Even though we won today and I like the performance, I'm not very confident at all.
Yeah, there's still a lot to do.
Yeah.
In terms of advancing. But we've at least put ourselves in a decent spot going into it.
Definitely in the best.
Taking care of 6 points against Rosenborg is critical. If you go through and if you if you don't get 6 points against Rosenborg, you will not go through in this group. So take that as you will. 2 other teams that still have to play Rosenborg.
Yeah, exactly. True. True.
All right. So do you want to do Modalidades?
Sure,
or anything else on Rosenborg?
No, I'm good with Rosenborg. I've been trying to ramble a bit, trying to make up for time. So
we piled on them enough. Those poor guys. Yeah. Tough season. Yeah. All right. So let's go back here to this weekend and tell you about the results. So the first one was Saturday. Sporting lost to Benfica in basketball. I watched this game. I don't know about you, Danny. Did you watch it?
I did. I watched most of it, at least. I didn't catch the very end, but
I watched most of it. I didn't catch the very beginning. So, yeah, I mean, it was a really good game. Even when Sporting, it seemed like they were likely going to go out of it, fall out of it. They go down like 10 or 12 or 9. They cut it back, and it grows again. They hung in there the whole time till the very end and kept hanging in, making a 2-possession, 1-possession game. And they had a chance, but they lost this one.
I really I know he's been having a really good season, but James is it Eleanor? I'm pretty sure it's Elisor, there you go. He's a baller. I like him a lot. He's a really good player. He's definitely going to lead Sporting to some good things. We're also just a point back from Benfica too, so it doesn't hurt the standings. It's our first derby as a team. I mean, we were just constructed, a few months ago. So for us to already have that sort of like fight back, it's positive signs at least. I think what Sporting needs and what Portuguese basketball needs especially is for these athletes or these players to know how to make a fucking free throw. The amount of free throws missed this game, maybe we're spoiled for watching the NBA, but it was pretty bad. I'm pretty sure like both teams together would be like 60%, if that, on free throws made. So, but it was a good watch. I liked it. It was a good like intense derby too. It was a good basketball game.
Yeah. Anyways. And Ty Toney also got into foul trouble. He is also really good. And the guy who is played better in this game is going to keep getting better. Hasn't fully hit there yet. Trevante Williams hasn't played that much. But in the minutes he has played. Yep. So I think that, Trevante Williams will pick up steam, gets his hands in there always, gets steals, generates turnovers. Really good defensively. A bit better offensively for him in this game, so high expectations for him. Let's move on to our next sport here. Which this page would stop freezing. The hockey and patins team beat FC Porto 3-0. Nice W for those boys. Futsal won against Fundão. And then they won today as well against Portuguese. And then also, Handball had a European game this weekend. And who do they play? 1 second. I'm sorry, Steph. I'm disgracing you by not having this organized enough. Oh, they played the Rihimaki Cox.
The Cox.
And they beat the Cox 38-29.
Nice.
Also for handball, they had a league game as well, and they defeated SC Horta. What else do we have? Not too much else. The U23s lost to Academica 2-0. So after that very hot start to the season, the under 23s have now dropped. What is that? Four winless in a row, 2 draws, 2 losses. And they're now a point behind Benfica. So it seemed like the title was certain. We were just steamrolling everyone. It's cooled down a little bit, and we're actually in second place now. And the ladies.
Sorry, how much of punch going to the senior team and then back down do you think that has an effect on the team, dude?
It definitely has a large effect on a team because every day that you read the paper and you see that 5 of these players are training with the first team, and you're like, this guy is like 17 years old and he's never. I mean, you don't think he's even gonna. I mean, he doesn't even put Plata on the bench. He's not gonna put a, Jolson or someone like that.
Exactly.
So it's just time that it's good that they're practicing with the senior team, obviously for their own development, which is the most important part. But in terms of the team chemistry, if all your best players are never at practice, it definitely does affect you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well done. Yeah. Anyways, continue, bro. My bad.
All good. And then the women's team beat Maritimu 4-0. Nevena Damjanovic, our Serbian captain, bagged a brace in that one. She is a machine, by the way. Who's your favorite player on the women's team?
It would probably be her as well. I don't really have a favorite, to be honest. I really liked Carolyn Baldwin. Sorry,
Yeah.
but she got injured, so probably won't be seeing her at all this season, or any more this season. But yeah, I'm at least liking the girls turning it around after that tough loss to Benfica. It on their first official derby. It's good to see the girls getting the results against the quote-unquote smaller teams.
Yeah, agree with you on that one for sure. Modalidades, any other ones that I want to talk about futsal today? That's really, those are the main ones, at least.
Yeah.
So pretty good weekend overall for the Modalidades. And I guess this brings us to our Twitter questions. Let me pull those up. All right. First question. Actually, I can make this screen share. All right. First question here from PM Rider esque, and that is at still P Mr. MRYD. I'm gonna spell that out. At STILLPMRYDERESQ. He said, happy to be proved wrong tonight after Tondela and going into game with no Acuna / Matthew. I thought would maybe labor to a draw. Nice to see Kawat score again and exercise a few ghosts from earlier games. PSV getting smashed 4-1 probably won't have helped our cause much. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, so we talked about the Contas as far as the group stands earlier. Yeah, I saw PSV went up 1-0, and I wasn't really paying too much attention to it, just focusing on the Sporting game. Figured maybe Lask would get a draw, which would have been better for us also. But yeah, I didn't expect that. So it was a good team, Lask.
Yeah. And we've seen from their Champions League qualifiers too. They almost made it to Champions League, so definitely should have been taken lightly, and they're definitely not being taken lightly anymore. So,
agree. Next one from Casa de Paiva, M Paiva 7. Would you guys agree that Miguel Luis and Doumbia are not at the level Sporting need them to be considered a regular starter? I'd rather see Bragança and Doumbia spot and Chico Jorales for Miguel Luis. Agreed. Danny, what do you think about that?
Agree on the regular starter. I definitely agree with Daniel Bragança would do either of those two jobs well, whether that's playing as a 6 or an 8. So yeah, with Chico, I don't even know what to think about Chico anymore. In terms of if he's a starter or not, he's not really getting burned in AEK. So I guess the verdict's still out. Though, I mean, if he's not getting burned there, I'd rather him come back on loan. So if that means, long story short, yeah, I'll be cool with Chico Bragança and Bruno Fernandes midfield. But like I said earlier, definitely we needed to invest at least in another number 6, a more defensive-minded number 6, a number 6 that's really good at winning the ball back. Because I think that's what Doumbia lacks a lot. Though, I mean, he looked decent in the Liverpool game in preseason that we seen live. He looked decent last season. So maybe it's just a spell he's going through, or maybe it's the manager asking something different of him. I guess we'll see. He is still young, so hopefully he'll still evolve into a good player. Because I think a player is in there, but yeah, I agree. Definitely not good enough to be a regular starter. And Miguel Luis as well. He's sort of let me down. Yeah.
Yeah, and this kind of reminds me of something I thought of today. I mean, not so much today. It was more the Tondela game because he didn't play today. Did he? No, yeah, he didn't even play today. He played against Tondela though, and he will never score again. He scored that one goal in that first game that he had, and his dad got interviewed outside, and it was really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he cannot score, man.
He fluffed the chance against Tondela too, if I'm not mistaken. He totally
did, and he fluffed one remarkably in that PSV game, the first one.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I feel like he's always like, I don't know, man. He just seems like he can't score.
Yeah,
which is shitty.
Yeah, to me, Miguel Luis's biggest thing too is at first when we first was hearing about him, we were hearing how he was like an Adrian type player, but better. So I mean, the better part is subjective, of course. But even then, like I'm not sure if he's like an Adrian. I don't know. He's definitely not a 6. As an 8, it would probably be his best position. But even then, like going forward, he's average at best. Defensively, he's not the greatest either. He can maybe pick out a pass, but yeah, I don't see what Miguel Luis's biggest strengths are. To be honest with you, he's definitely not a 10 either. So I'm not too sure of what Miguel Luis can really offer the team.
I agree. I don't even think that he. I mean, I think you can make a case that Mateus Nunes, Daniel Bragança, and Rodrigo Fernandes are all better than him. Yeah. I guess he's a year or two older than some of them, but yeah, I don't give a shit if he's 21 and he's 19. You know.
Yeah, play the better player. I don't care about.
Especially since I've seen the other one enough. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
All right. Next one from Joel De Silva at Joleon073 _073. Sorry. What are your takes on the Macarids rumors? Would you want him at Sporting? This is actually truly hilarious because I was really bored on Monday afternoon, and it got dark so early, so it felt like it was like nighttime. It was like 4:30, and this game was happening. I think it started at 4. So it's like, it's like a Stubble versus Boavista at Bonfim, and Boavista absolutely battered them, but this guy just saved absolutely everything, and then they scored a late winner, and it was totally undeserved. Stubble got the result. I think they have 2 goals of the season, by the way. They're just very.
But they're mid-table though.
Yeah, they've tied 4 games 0-0.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the most Portuguese thing ever.
Yeah, and so it's like this game literally happens Monday afternoon, East Coast time. It was 9:00 at night there in Portugal, and then they're printing this paper that like hours later, you know, that Tuesday morning paper, and Macarids to Sporting. It's like, oh my God, are you guys serious? Like,
yeah. He had a good game, fair enough. So maybe, hopefully, it's just that the papers are just linking him to us.
I mean, I've seen him play a couple of times. I mean, he's been around. He's been on the Stubble for a couple of years. I mean, he's been around. He's a decent goalie, but it's just
he is.
Why? Why are we buying a 30-year-old Georgian international goalkeeper?
I think my only thing to me, he's not like you said, he's not a bad keeper, and he has done well. And like I remember more vividly his time at Moreirense was really good. I thought he was gonna do well at Rio Ave last season, but we already have a Macarenzi in Renan Ribeiro. I don't know how much better he is from Renan, so it's not a major upgrade.
They're both 29 or 30. It's like,
they're like identical. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if we didn't have a guy like Luis Max with tremendous potential, you know, maybe bring in Materazzi to sort of like offer some sort of competition to Renan. But seeing as we have a young keeper here, we'd be stupid to waste more money on a keeper when Luis Max is clearly the future.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a
shit, he
kick.
should be the president. So
It's a kick in the nuts for him if they sign another keeper.
100%.
Total kick in the nuts, and that's just like a like punch in the face, kick in the nuts, and a kick in the gut for Diogo Souza.
Yeah, true. Though, I mean, he hasn't really been that great, has he? Though I
Diogo
haven't
Souza.
seen him. Yeah, he
He's
has
been
like a
playing
few
a lot
good.
more for the U23s.
I mean,
And
yeah,
they
now
haven't been getting results, so
sure, fair
there
enough.
could be a correlation there.
Sure.
Next question from Anthony Menezes at Anthony MS_SCP. I'd say Vieto has been one of our top 4 or 5 players so far, but do you think he's lived up to his transfer price? Danny, I know you mentioned you thought he was in our top couple players. Do you think he's worth 7.5 million euros? For 50% of
For
his
50, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say for 7.5 euros, yes. For 14, not yet. But I like the.
Jesus Christ.
If you think about it, 77.5 for 50. That's technically, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm saying like that's an expensive play. That's
yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, for 14 million, definitely not. But I mean, he's getting into a rhythm, so he's providing us something. He's fairly consistent, though. You know, there are some games where he does disappear. I think especially towards the second half. I can't really blame just him because it's the entire team, but especially in the second half, he tends to disappear out of games. But he has been.
He did it today a little bit.
Exactly.
He was there, but he wasn't there for a lot of it.
Exactly. So and he hasn't lived up to the transfer fee. I think I'm saying that he's been one of our better players, but it's pretty easy to be one of our better players this season, seeing as the team is pretty garbage. So, hopefully he just keeps on improving, and then we'll talk about him being worth the transfer fee. But as of right now, no, not yet.
All right, next question from David Claudio at David Strife 35. Do you agree on the fact that we should have Silas as our coach for the next 2 years? What do you think of our Hockey and Teams coach, Paul Freitas? Besides Verandas, who else do you think has to leave Sporting? So we break this down into parts. Do you agree on the fact that we should have Silas as our coach for the next 2 years? I don't know if I'm willing to commit to him for 2 years, but I'm willing to commit to him for this season, most likely. What about you?
Agreed. I think with coaches, you have to play it by ear also, too. But at least for this season, definitely.
A lot can change quickly. 2 years is a long time.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you have any opinion on Paul Freitas? I mean, they're having a nice...
I haven't seen a lot of hockey games, but anyways, sorry.
Yeah, I haven't seen that many hockey games either, to be honest. Mostly just seeing the results. Although I have seen a couple. I mean, he hasn't really struck me yet, but I mean, he could be, a great coach that I just haven't taken too much note of. And then besides Verandas, who else do you think has to leave Sporting? I think a lot of people have to leave Sporting. Will those people leave Sporting? I don't know, man. It seems there's really no, people don't leave. Even when they do leave, they still hang around and talk about it on the TV.
Exactly.
No one never really seems to go away.
Dias Ferreira has never won an election, yet I know this guy more than I do other candidates.
Garrity is never gonna go away. Paul Fernandez is never gonna go away. Even Sousa Sinter still pops up every now and again. He's never gonna go away. They're just permanently entrenched in like the cigar cafes of Sporting elite.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, what do you think of? I know I'm only bringing this up because we're mentioning how people need to leave. What do you make of that plane trip to Norway and all the other board members making the trip, especially 2 people that we just brought on board, the wisdom guy or something like that?
They all went to Norway.
Oh yeah, you didn't see?
It was
sort of a big thing. It was sort of a big thing on Twitter where everybody was sort of complaining about Sporting Club de Taços and shit like that. And if you didn't see, don't worry about it. But I don't know too much about it either. I do see that there are a lot of people getting a free meal out of Sporting nowadays. So to David's question, everybody needs to, that entire boardroom needs to fuck off.
Yeah, it's a lot of insiders who are just kind of playing the game right now. But I think we are gonna reach a tipping point sooner rather than later. And believe it or not, we haven't actually reached the tipping point yet. So
Yeah.
we've seen some shit, but it hasn't quite been the tipping point yet. So we'll see how things keep playing out. But yeah, I'm sure we'll have some interesting discussions about that in the future. There's never a dull moment around these parts.
For sure.
And then a final question here from Nuno Gabriel at Catavalence. Gotta remember to send some in after the game. Did he send some in after the game?
Did he? I don't think he did.
Let's check his Twitter. I don't think that he did. Hey,
Damn it, Nuno.
No, you always send in questions, so we caught you slipping and exposed you once. One W for us. Hey, it happens, man.
Yeah, it does. And hey, stay strong on November, bro. I know it's easy that you're married, but stay strong, bro.
Great. All right. Danny, do you have anything else? Oh, we can do a quick little bonus stat preview for Sunday.
Yeah.
What do you think? We are at home, I believe, right? Because we just played on the road.
I believe so.
Yeah, we're at home.
We played 2 games away, so we better be playing at home.
Yeah, we are at home.
Yeah. I think Belenenses is pretty sad right now. I wasn't their last game where they had no fans whatsoever. They do suck. They're in 12th.
That's every game, Danny.
That is a good point. You're right about that. My bad. You're my bad. Yeah, it should be a stomping. I definitely hope it's a stomping. Last time we played them, it was 8-1. Silas was on the other bench. Now Silas is at Sporting. So hopefully Silas sort of gets his revenge for being sacked. And also, you know, he's the one man that probably knows that team better than anybody in the league. So it would be a disaster if we lose to Belenenses, is what I'm basically trying to say. So hopefully we see again a Sporting more of the first half, but again bringing that over to the second half, because that's been a few games now where we've done well to start off and then sort of fell through once we got the lead. I want to see a more hungry Sporting, and I'm hoping that Belenenses is the perfect victim, because, like you said, they are not good. So, and they definitely won't have any fan support there either. So, there's no excuse for Sporting to not win this game. But anyways, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. They're not good this season. They had a coaching change already. We now have the coach. It's the revenge of Silas and Emmanuel Ferro. They're coming back to haunt the sad boys. So let's do it for the real bullness. And let's honor them by scraping this fake ass team.
Facts.
I've got a 2-0 Sporting win.
Yeah, I'll go with 3-1. We haven't suffered. Actually, we did suffer against Sundala. Never mind. We didn't suffer today, so we'll probably suffer against Belenenses. I'll go 3-1.
All right. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up here?
No, dude.
All right, man. Thanks, everyone, for listening in. We will talk to you at some point next week after the Bolnes game, and then no game next weekend because it is the next round of the Taça de Portugal, which Sporting will be watching from their couch as the other teams play. So just
Força Beira-Mar. Sorry,
that's true. There's still a lot of lower league teams still in it. So yeah, I think either Porto or Benfica are playing a third division team. So you're pulling hard for them.
Isn't Porto playing Stubal or something?
Then it might be Benfica that's playing a third division team then.
Yeah, probably. I could be wrong too.
No, I think you're actually right.
It might not be Stubal, but it might be like a first division team that they're getting.
Benfica's playing Vizela. Porto is playing Stouffville, you're right.
Oh, okay, there you go. Look at me.
Who's Betamar playing?
Betamar's playing another third division
Oh, they're
team.
playing Anadia. Oh, they got to win that.
It is Anadia. They fucking better. It's the only chance I have of one of my teams fucking making the Taça Portugal final, bro. It's Betamar, not a Sporting decided to fuck off.
Tough
life.
Tough scene. What is that team that is like has the guys from the Super Dragones as the team, and they're always getting into
Caldas.
Is it Calda? I think that's the team that we played, or the team that made it to the semis last year. That's Calda de Rainha.
I was convinced.
Is it Canella?
It might be.
Yeah, it's
Did they make it through?
They did, and they're playing another third division team, so they have a chance to keep. How great would it be if they played Porto, man?
That would be fucking. That would be fucking funny.
Actually, it'd be rigged. The game would be rigged. The game would be bought.
Yeah, I mean, or they just play around, but it'd be like super less aggressive. Like it'd be their fucking. It would be like remember was it Tondela or Nacional? It might be Tondela. The game before they played a Benfica game, they had like 24 fouls and 25 fouls in like the first half. They played Benfica and they only got like 15 fouls the entire game. So it's gonna be something along those lines.
Yeah. All right, we've been bullshitting for too long.
Yeah, for real. Sorry, guys. This podcast might not be the best, but hope you like those shooting the shit.
Yeah, that's what a lot of it is. Hey, we'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great weekend. Go Sporting.
Viva Sporting.